Hello everyone, my name is Camacho-Vazquez. You can call me Nettie. This presentation is about the differences between deviance and crime, and then we're going to go on to three significant theories regarding crime. So to start off, I would say to me the biggest difference between deviance and crime is that deviance is something we see to be wrong, something that is not a crime but could be once we place some laws and some order, and then it becomes a crime. An example to me would be gun control and just the ownership of having a gun. Here in Arizona, where I'm from, we are able to purchase weapons and conceal and carry. Here, in Arizona, like I said, you're able to carry your gun at your hip while you're at the grocery store, while you're at McDonald's. You could be at the library, you could be at the park, and you can have your gun with you as long as you purchase your weapon legally and you follow the steps through. You can pretty much carry your weapon anywhere. I know, for example, in Mexico, you are not allowed to have a weapon. As a regular citizen, you are not able to carry a gun with you or even own one. I know in other states the laws vary. Sometimes people can have only rifles for hunting or that type of thing. But here in Arizona, you can purchase, a handgun and carry it with you, have it in your car. Are some of these purchased legally or illegally? Who knows? But the fact is that, here in Arizona, it's considered perfectly normal. It's not seen as deviance, whereas in other states, it could be seen as deviance, the fact that you're carrying it. And it could also be a crime in other places, like in Mexico, because there are laws against it. So now we're going to go on to the three examples. We're going to analyze the three major sociological perspectives on crime. The first one being functionalism. So functionalism focuses more on why some people are committing these crimes and why not others. It goes more onto social, as crime being affected by, ethnic groups or, your economic state, I would say, in life, where your family is at economically, where you grew culturally, but mostly kind of, where you come from. For example, in that for me, the perfect case for functionalism would be the George Zimmerman case, where, just because this little boy, I believe his name was Tavon, was wearing, he was African American and he was wearing a hoodie, he was automatically seen as a person to be committing a crime when, in fact, it wasn't that way. But he was pointed out to be committing a crime just because of the fact that he was African American and he was stereotyped and he was wearing a hoodie. And, there was this whole stigma put on him based on appearances and, just people being racist, basically, and what people believe, unfortunately. The next one would be conflict of theory. Conflict of theory is what others see as deviance because basically it doesn't benefit them. I would say it's also associated with capitalism and inequality of power. So a big example for that one would be, most United States of America citizens, we all pay taxes. Once comes January, we all have to file our taxes and we all have to pay our dues. If we did not already pay them and we're automatically taken out of our paychecks, then we have to make payments to the IRS. If we don't make these payments, they will be taken out of our checks, of our bank accounts. And, there was that whole scandal. For example, Donald Trump, the president of our country, at some point it was said that, he didn't pay taxes. He never filed his taxes. And because he's a multi-billion-dollar man, nobody raised any questions. Nobody said anything. So that right there is a big example on conflict of theory. That's a big conflict of theory crime right there, because everybody has to pay for them, because most of us are not multi-billion millionaires. And here's someone who is, and can get away with a couple of things, and it's not seen as deviance, and pretty much nothing is done about it. And the next one would be symbolic. A symbolic crime or symbolic interaction. So a symbolic interaction is how deviance is formed in the eye of the beholder, or it's how we create deviance, basically, by the way we see things. And let me see. We learn deviant behaviors from our friends and family. And I guess my biggest example for that one would be, in Spanish, we have a saying that says, el que se junta con lobos, a aullar aprende. Meaning, the one who hangs out with wolves learns how to howl. And what that says basically is that depending on the group of people you hang out with, you will learn these behaviors or get these behaviors from hanging out with this group of people. Another example for a symbolic interaction would be, possibly high school. When you hang out with a group of bad kids and, your parents believe that you are going to start acting like these kids, or you're going to start breaking rules that these kids are breaking, that's symbolic deviance right there, where it's because of the perspective of others, you're going to be seen a certain way because of others' interactions. And lastly, for me to explain the theory of the type of crime in today's society, I would say it's mostly symbolic, because we all see different issues a different way. We all see deviance in certain things that others don't. I think especially because of social media, we all create a certain opinion really quickly, and we all have different beliefs. A lot of those beliefs coming from our families or what we were taught by others, which is, a big thing in the whole symbolic theory of crime. So I definitely believe as a society, we're more symbolic. I think we're, at times have a little bit of everything. But for me, I would say as a society, we are symbolic. We judge by what we see. Thank you, everybody. I hope This was good. It's my first presentation ever. I know there was a lot of ums and a lot of spaces. I tried my best. I recorded this like 10 times, but I hope everyone enjoyed it. And I hope I explained my scenarios as best as I could in my examples. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.